Have you ever felt that someone is willing to go to any length just to be near you? Imagine a love so determined, so steadfast, nothing, not distance, not circumstances, not doubts can hold it back. Today, I want to speak directly to your heart about a powerful spiritual truth. Sometimes God places someone in your life who is willing to do whatever it takes to be with you. This is not just a story of romance, a story of divine timing, of purpose, and of hearts being drawn together for a reason far greater than you may yet understand. Angels watch over the connections in our lives, and when they sense a bond that is meant to flourish, they move in ways that can change your path forever. In the next few minutes, we will explore what happens when someone is so committed to being with you that their love becomes unstoppable. You'll discover signs you may have overlooked, spiritual confirmations you might have missed, and the incredible way God works through hearts that are willing to act with faith, courage, and persistence. Prepare yourself, because what I'm about to share could change the way you see love, relationships, and the incredible plans God has for your life. When we talk about divine persistence in love, we are speaking of a force far greater than mere human desire or attraction. There are relationships that seem ordinary at first glance, yet beneath the surface, a higher power is moving, guiding hearts together in ways that may not always be immediately visible. Is the kind of love that does not waver in the face of distance, misunderstanding, or even prolonged separation. A love that refuses to give up because it has been set in motion by something eternal. Angels, unseen but attentive, watch over these connections. They understand the significance of a bond that is meant to flourish, and they act subtly to ensure that nothing crucial is missed. You may have noticed moments in your life when someone seemed to appear at exactly the right time, or when circumstances shifted in a way that could only be described as providential. These are not coincidences. These are the gentle nudges of divine persistence. Love, in its highest form, is not merely about feelings. It is about purpose. When someone is willing to do whatever it takes to be with you, their actions reflect a determination that has been inspired and guided by a higher will. You may have observed how some individuals overcome incredible odds, distance, financial challenges, emotional barriers, just to maintain a connection that feels predestined. This persistence is not stubbornness, it is a sacred resolve. It recognizes that the union of two hearts is part of a larger plan, one that unfolds according to divine timing rather than human schedules. Angels, in their quiet vigilance, often influence these efforts in subtle ways. Perhaps it is through a dream that confirms your intuition, a chance meeting that reignites communication, or a sequence of events that align perfectly to bring you closer. These signs are confirmations of a love that refuses to falter. It is important to recognize that divine persistence also teaches us about the nature of true commitment. Love that endures is not reactive, proactive. It moves with intention, courage, and an understanding that setbacks are temporary and serve a purpose in shaping character and resilience. When someone demonstrates this kind of dedication, it is a reflection of both their inner strength and the unseen guidance that supports them. You may find yourself thinking about someone repeatedly, sensing that your paths are intertwined even when obstacles appear insurmountable. This is often the work of divine persistence, reminding you that love, when aligned with God's plan, is unstoppable. It is also a call for you to recognize your role in this connection. Divine persistence in love is not one-sided. It requires openness, awareness, and willingness to engage with the guidance that is being offered. Angels inspire, but humans must act. By responding with faith and sincerity, you participate in the unfolding of a love that is meant to endure. Every message, every moment of longing, every act of courage from someone who is committed to being with you is a reflection of this persistence. It is a force that shapes not only the relationship, but the individuals involved, teaching patience, resilience, and an understanding of how God works through human hearts. In relationships guided by divine persistence, challenges are inevitable, but they serve as refining moments. They test the depth of commitment, the clarity of intention, and the alignment of hearts. Those who are willing to endure these challenges and continue pursuing connection with integrity are demonstrating a love that mirrors the steadfastness of God's own faithfulness. Observing this persistence can inspire gratitude and hope. It reassures you that, even in moments of doubt or uncertainty, a higher purpose is at work. The determination of someone willing to do whatever it takes is a living example of how love, when touched by divine guidance, transcends ordinary limitations. It reminds us that love is not only about emotion, but about dedication, perseverance, and the willingness to follow God's direction, trusting that every step is part of a greater plan that will ultimately lead to fulfillment and joy. There are moments in life when the presence of someone special seems almost magical. Many of us fail to recognize the subtle signs that indicate their commitment and love. These signs are often gentle, easily overlooked, but deeply meaningful when understood in the light of divine guidance. Sometimes it is a dream that leaves a lasting impression, a recurring thought of a person who seems to occupy your mind at unexpected times, or a series of coincidences that feel too intentional to be random. These experiences are more than mere chance. They are the whispers of angels nudging your heart to pay attention to a connection that has a spiritual dimension. When someone is willing to do whatever it takes to be with you, their actions often manifest in ways that speak quietly but clearly. Perhaps they show up at the right moment, offering support, encouragement, or presence exactly when it is needed. These moments may seem ordinary at first glance, but when viewed as part of a larger spiritual pattern, they reveal a persistence and devotion that cannot be ignored. People often underestimate the importance of intuition in recognizing these signs. A gut feeling that someone cares deeply, a sense of reassurance in their presence, or a sudden clarity about a relationship can be the result of angelic influence guiding your perception. The universe, or God's hand, often moves subtly, providing gentle confirmations that someone's dedication is real and meaningful. Also common to see patterns emerge over time, unexpected gestures, consistent attention, and actions that reflect thoughtfulness and sacrifice. These are indicators that a person is not just casually involved, but deeply committed, willing to face challenges and go beyond comfort zones to nurture the relationship. Spiritual signs can also come through conversations that feel divinely timed. Words spoken at just the right moment, encouragement offered when you most need it, or advice that resonates with your heart may all be orchestrated to communicate the seriousness of someone's intentions. Angels often use these moments to guide you toward awareness, helping you recognize that love can be persistent, purposeful, and guided by divine will. Recognizing these signs requires mindfulness and openness. It asks you to look beyond surface appearances and consider the depth of intentions behind every act of care, every message, and every effort made to maintain connection. This awareness allows you to see a pattern of commitment that might otherwise go unnoticed, helping you understand that love is often accompanied by a spiritual signature, subtle yet undeniable. Sometimes the signs are not dramatic but consistent. The small daily acts of kindness, thoughtfulness, and attention accumulate, revealing a dedication that cannot be faked or forced. When someone is willing to go to great lengths to be with you, these actions are their way of expressing a love that is both persistent and purposeful, often guided by forces beyond human understanding. Paying attention to these signs also requires patience. Not every gesture will make immediate sense, and not every coincidence will seem significant at the time. Yet over time, patterns emerge and clarity is revealed. Angels often work quietly, nudging you to observe, reflect, and trust your instincts. By noticing these signs, you are participating in a spiritual awareness that opens your heart to divine guidance. You begin to see how carefully orchestrated events, intuitive feelings, and repeated synchronicities point toward someone's unwavering commitment. Becomes evident that the connection you share is not random, but part of a larger plan where love is guided, confirmed, and protected. Learning to recognize these signs transforms the way you experience relationships. It shifts your perspective from doubt to trust, from uncertainty to awareness, and from passivity to active participation in a love that has spiritual significance. By tuning into the subtle messages, the dreams, the coincidences, and the repeated patterns, you begin to see the reflection of divine persistence in human actions. A persistent love that is willing to overcome obstacles and remain steadfast, demonstrating that true devotion is both tangible and spiritually inspired. Faith and patience are two of the most essential elements in any relationship, especially when it is guided by a higher purpose. When someone is willing to do whatever it takes to be with you, it is not merely their actions that matter, it is also the faith they hold in the unseen and the patience they exercise in trusting God's timing. Often, relationships that are destined to flourish face obstacles that test the endurance and resilience of both hearts involved. These challenges can be emotional, logistical, or even spiritual, and they are designed to strengthen the bond rather than weaken it. Faith in this context is more than hope. It is a confident assurance that God is at work behind the scenes, orchestrating events in a way that will bring about the right outcome. It allows both people to see beyond the immediate difficulties and trust that the path they are on is part of a divine plan. Patience, on the other hand, is the ability to wait without frustration or despair. It is the calm understanding that timing is as important as intention. In many cases, the person who is willing to do everything to be with you is not rushing recklessly, but moving carefully, guided by wisdom and an awareness that some things must unfold gradually. This patience is a reflection of a love that is mature, grounded, and aligned with God's purpose. People often misunderstand patience as passivity, but in spiritual relationships, patience is active. It requires consistent faith, deliberate choices, and sometimes even silent endurance. It means standing firm in your convictions, maintaining your integrity, and trusting that God will remove obstacles at the right time. Faith and patience work hand in hand, reinforcing one another. When someone demonstrates patience, they are exercising faith in the unseen process, believing that every step, every delay, and every challenge has a purpose. Similarly, faith without patience can lead to frustration and missteps. Even the strongest belief must be accompanied by the ability to wait and allow divine timing to unfold. Understanding this dynamic helps you recognize the significance of the actions taken by someone who is committed to being with you. Their willingness to endure setbacks, to remain steadfast despite uncertainty, and to act with integrity reflects a deep spiritual maturity. It shows that their love is not impulsive or self-serving, but rooted in a commitment that seeks alignment with God's plan. In practical terms, faith and patience manifest in many ways. It can be seen in the consistency of effort, the willingness to communicate openly, and the grace shown when mistakes or misunderstandings occur. It can also appear in subtle ways, such as offering support without expectation